What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division build video. Now if you guys do enjoy these build videos and all my comment, don't forget to smash that like, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions at all, hit me up in the comment section below. Now this is going to be another really hard-hitting DPS build for the Dark Zone or Skirmish Last Stand. Kind of like my Barrett's Banshee. This is going to have the same kind of premise. This is just going to be a straight mower. You're just going to put on the build and mow down everything in front of you. Some people call it a glass cannon, but if you're with the right team or you have the right movement and sustainability, you're not going to get melted because they're already going to be dead and at the checkpoint. But without further ado, this is my 1.8.3 Alpha Savage, or Savage Alpha, whichever way you want to put it. Basically what it is 5-piece Alpha Bridge with Savage gloves. They are all spec'd into firearms, so I do have that high DPS, and I do have max crits on this build. What I mean by max crits is just sitting on paper, I am sitting at 60% crit chance and 136 crit damage. That is with no more additives, that is with nothing, that is just sitting here in the terminal. So if you add that with the Savage gloves and Pulse and a couple other things, you tend to see that it's just adding on top of each other, and with the DPS, it's retarded, guys. This build will melt everything. I'm gonna have like this really long montage coming out soon of me using all these builds because there's just too many clips. I think putting the clips on that Barrett's Banshee added like another 2 or 3 minutes just of me melting people over and over. So I'll just put it all in a montage, let you guys see it for yourself, because these build videos tend to take a second or two to explain. But anyways, going back to the build, we have 5-piece Alpha Bridge, Savage gloves, and for the weapons I am carrying the House, MP7 as my secondary, and a sawed-off shotgun as my sidearm. So what makes this the Savage Alpha or the Alpha Savage are the high-end gloves that I'm wearing. They have the talent Savage. Crit hit chance is increased by 7% against targets out of cover. So basically, every time I'm going up against a player or a NPC and they are just standing up shooting at me, I get an additional 7% crit chance. Now the Alpha Bridge, the reason why I'm using the Alpha Bridge are for the 5 gear set bonuses. So going through those real quick, set bonus 2 gives you that health regen of 100%. Set bonus 3 gives you 5% weapon damage to all weapons. Set bonus 4 gives you that Alpha Bridge talent. If your primary and secondary weapon are of the same category, i.e. for this build, my House and my MP7 are of the same category, they share the free talent. So my House will have an extra talent on there, and it's going to show up green, and I'll show you guys when I go through the weapons. And on top of that, all talent requirements are ignored for all weapons. So it doesn't matter what my electronics, stamina, or firearms are, all of my weapon talents are unlocked. So that's why I can get away with having 10,000 plus firearms and still have all the talents that I am running. And finally, the set bonus 5, you get an additional 25% health regen, bumping you up to 125, and you get an additional 10% weapon damage. So that brings you up to 15% weapon damage. So you put that together with the Savage gloves, you have high DPS and high crit chance. So let's go over the weapons. Like I said before, I am running the House as my primary, MP7 as my secondary. Going over to the House, it is fully optimized, 29.3k base damage. The talents I am running are Deadly, Vicious, Card Counter, and Responsive. I think that is The best way to go with this particular build, having the Deadly Vicious Responsive, I think is a must. So, going over it real quick, the Vicious gives you 10% crit hit chance when you have more than 2 health segments. So you only have 3 health segments. So what I have done is I have made a build where you are already sitting at 60 crit hit chance. And technically, I've got a buffer on there. I'm adding one more crit hit chance mod on my gear. So technically 61, but it doesn't go above there, so it's capped. So that when I lose that 1 health segment, and I'm at 2 health segments, Vicious becomes inactive, which then my 60% crit hit chance drops down to 51% crit hit chance. However, with the Savage Gloves that I am wearing, all targets out of cover, I get an additional 7% crit hit chance. So even when I'm down 1 health segment, I still have the 51% crit hit chance, and then I'll have the 7% from these gloves, bringing me back up to 58%. So even when I lose 1 health segment, I'm only losing 2% crit hit chance. So nearly 100% of the time, you are right there at max crit hit chance. And you are already running the 136 crit hit damage. And on top of that, the 10,144 firearms, this thing is just bound to melt. Going back to the weapons, like I said before, the house, 29.3k base damage, Deadly Vicious, card counter, responsive. And remember, responsive gives me an additional 10% damage to targets that are closer than 10 meters. And with this kind of build, you're going to be in their face as much as possible. Dance around as much as you want, and then you're going to mow them down. Insane burst damage. Now, the MP7 I am running is Fierce, Deadly, Responsive. Nothing crazy. It's fully optimized at 24k base damage. I don't really use it, I just use the house. So with that, I'll just go over the mods I'm running on the house. All of them are crit based. So starting off with the Loud Vent Break, I have 19 on the crit damage, 6 on the headshot damage, 3 on the crit chance. Small Grip, 19 on the crit damage, 5 on the reload speed, 2.5 on the stability. The Extended Mag, 120.5 mag size with 4 crit hit damage and 3 crit hit chance. Now this is how I get the max crit chance and damage on paper. Is I get the 60 and the 136 because I get crit chance and crit damage on the Extended Mag. And finally, the Pro Red Dot Sight, 19 crit damage, 3 crit chance, and 6 headshot damage. And finally, my sidearm, I have a double barrel sawed off, has 216k base damage, and it's not fully optimized. So when I fully optimize it, I'm going to take that baby out for a spin and see if I can one-shot some of these glass cannons. Because I've seen some of you Cassidy users run around and try to one-shot people, and sometimes they pull it off and it's hilarious. So I might try to join that squad. Anyways, so this sawed off has Talented. Killing a target increases your skill power by 15% for 20 seconds. Determined. Also, killing that target reduces all of my skill cooldowns by 7.5%. And Predatory. When I kill that target, I regenerate 35% health over 20 seconds. So basically, I get a boost in my skill power, I get skill cooldowns, and I get health all at the same time for killing the exact same target. Reason why I'm running this is because if you see these weapon requirements, they are all insane, and I do not have the stamina and electronics to do that. However, with the Alpha Bridge, it ignores all those requirements, makes it very easy to use. And those are the weapons. House MP7 sawed-off shoddy. So let's go ahead and get into the gear. So we went over the set bonuses, and you know what the Savage is. So let's see how I rolled it. Starting off with the Alpha chest, fully optimized, rolled firearms, attributes health and EDR, minor attribute ammo capacity. The mods I'm running on the chest piece are both firearms with crit hit chance. The Alpha rucksack, fully optimized, rolled firearms again, crit hit damage on the major attribute, minor ammo capacity. You could change this for bleed resistance, but I like the more ammo because when you're running Alpha and you have the same category weapon, you're using only that ammo, so you run out of it really quick. Mods I am running on this backpack: firearms, crit hit chance, and 2 first aid self-heal mods. Go to the Savage gloves, fully optimized, rolled firearms, major attributes, SMG damage, crit hit damage, and crit hit chance. Going to the Alpha Bridge mask, fully optimized, rolled firearms, major attribute, crit hit chance, minor attribute, blind deaf resistance. Mod I am running on the mask, again, firearms, crit hit chance. Go down to the Alpha Bridge knee pads, fully optimized, rolled firearms, major attribute, crit hit damage, minor attributes, bleed and burn resistance, and damage to elites. You could definitely take the damage to elites off and put shock resistance, and that would be the ideal thing to do. Mods I'm running: firearms, crit chance, and again, first aid self-heal mod. Finally, Alpha Bridge holster, fully optimized, 1401 across the board, major attribute, crit hit chance, and that first aid self-heal mod. Sidearm. Let's get into the character sheet, and then we will finish off with the abilities and skills. So, start off with the primary attributes. Firearms, 10,144. Insane, but the burst damage is like no other. I am telling you, if you can't do it solo, run with a group that has a healer. You don't need a pulse, because you've already got the max crits, but you know, you could use a little more crit damage, I guess, if you really want. So that's good. Make sure you have a healer and you're good to go. But anyways, you have the 10,144 firearms, giving me a primary DPS of 625,879. That is without card counter, without booster, without responsive, without pulse, nothing. This is just base DPS 625k. Now the stamina and the electronics are both bare bones at 2961. However, I do have a toughness of 324k and skill power of 88k. Now this weapon sheet, this is for my house. So a little overview again: 29.3k on the base damage, 60 on the crit hit chance, 136 on the crit hit damage, 62 headshot damage. I have 16% damage to elites from the knee pads, but like I said, you could switch that off for shock resistance and be good to go. Your health is bare minimum at 215. Armor, fully optimized, 8008, giving you that 33.5 weapon damage mitigation. You do have the health regen from the Alpha Bridge set bonuses, so keep that in mind. However, it does not work when you're in combat, but as soon as you're out of combat, it'll kick in and you'll get your health back as soon as it kicks in. Now the abilities, your skills and talents, pretty much the usual. Scrambler booster, both of them are bare minimums, so you have 7.3 crit chance, 7.3 crit damage. So even when I'm down that one health segment and I don't have vicious, just with a pulse alone, I'm back to max crits. So I'm not worried about it at all. Running Deadly Vicious, I think, is one of the smartest things you could do when running a build kind of like this, because you're going to want to be at max health or you're going to be close, and you have crits on your side. And if you don't, and you spec into health or what have you, all you have to do is have a skilled power player run a pulse, and you're good to go. Booster, again, bare minimums, 48k, 39k. Nothing too crazy. I am running the recovery link. You do have your signature skills because you are running the 5-piece Alpha Bridge opposed to the 4-piece. Alright, the talents I'm running, these are all team-based. So I have Adrenaline, your anti-pred. I have Critical Save so that I can face tank if I have to after popping a medkit. Combat Medic, obviously if I need to pop that medi for a teammate, I got you. And Strike Back, if I am running low on health, my skills cooldowns will be reduced by 20%. And there you have it, you guys. That is my Alpha Savage build for 1.8.3. This thing is a shredder, and it's a lot of fun. Just go out there and go look at the crits. The crits will say everything. I will come out with gameplay with this. It'll probably be in a really long montage, so be on the lookout. But besides that, it is Kamikazevondoom. If you enjoyed this build and many like it, don't forget to mash that like, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section below. But Kamikazevondoom is out. Peace.